We review it Wednesday.
Introducing your hosts.
I know there's been a lot of speculation of whether or not I am Matt Logan. And yes, I am Matt Logan.
I'm Tyler. Tyler Peterson.
Slugheads.
This is the greatest show. I'm terrible with lyrics.
Well, then we should just talk about the Greatest Showman.
Yeah, we should. Hugh Jackman.
He is the Greatest Showman.
The man, the myth, the legend.
He is one wildly crazy, fantastic actor.
The Aussie with the posse.
He can sing and dance.
Be an X-Men.
Get buff.
Never die.
Right. Well,
I guess Logan did die.
yeah. That's a different
There's
podcast.
that note. Can I start off with a fact?
Yeah, let's do it.
Did you know that there are rumors that Hugh Jackman turned down the role for 007 in order to be able to do The Greatest Showman?
I don't believe that that's anything but a rumor.
I think there's accuracy.
How so? Where did that come from? I'm a pretty big James Bond fan.
Well, that's why I was...
Right.
I think there was a pretty... I forget. I looked at a few sources where he was really being considered to be the next 007.
Sure.
And so...
So when this was released...
2017.
2017. So they would have been, let's say, even a year before this, 2016.
Right.
Daniel Craig, I'd have to look at the timeline of everything, but he was still very involved
With James Bond. It would have been before Daniel Craig.
So Daniel Craig came out in 2006.
Was it that early?
Yeah. The Casino Royale was 2006.
Oh, interesting.
So now, with that said, Daniel Craig, after each film, has been like, this is it, I'm done,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Because it's exhausting. And
It is.
You're doing
so
all
many
the
expectations.
Press. Yeah. You're doing all the press.
Yeah.
You're doing, all the, you're traveling all over the place to promote the film.
Yeah.
So you have all the action that you have to...
Preceding,
post,
yeah,
you're training for before filming, and then during, all of it. It's just 2 years of your life is completely 1,000,000,000% dedicated, right? So I get it. Could there have been talks about it? Maybe. I don't think it would have been very serious.
Okay,
is what I'm saying, because. I'm not saying he would have made a bad James Bond.
Rumor. Right.
Yeah. But, what's his... I just lost his name. He's the gatekeeper.
Idris Elba?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know how that rumor started?
How was that?
He started it.
Oh, really?
Yes. He was basically the gist of that is he said that he would like to be the next James Bond.
Like The Rock.
Right. It was so being a Bond fan,
right?
I take that stuff not very seriously.
Yeah.
Right. So when you look at the timeline of this, while it's possible, it's unlikely that it was anything legitimate.
Right.
Other than a cocktail party conversation.
Yeah.
I guess.
And I guess the other fact
I'm not trying to take the wind out of your sails.
That. Yeah.
But being, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's
that's why I thought it was interesting.
Right. Yeah.
Because
totally.
I know you were 007.
Yeah.
Or R. The other fact that kind of goes alongside that is that Hugh Jackman wanted to film this over. Basically, for 7 years, he's been preceding this film, he was really wanting to get this thing with the green light to get going.
Okay. Wow.
So it's
so
kind of
that involved in it?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, which I thought, again, was interesting. Again, the story...
That's interesting.
The story and everything was pretty fascinating to me. It's an interesting story to tell, but for Hugh Jackman to be that invested in it, I thought was kind of shocking.
Because I'm looking at my notes, and he's not a producer.
No.
He's not a writer.
Yeah. So I just thought it was interesting.
That is very interesting.
So I don't know if he wanted to tell us specific. I mean, I probably could have gotten more details if it was specifically the P.T. Barnum, like just telling a story about him of some sorts and being involved in it. But
yeah. Anyway, Hugh Jackman is like
jacked.
He's
a man.
Yeah. Crazy good.
There's
all
nothing
around.
he can't do.
No.
I remember when I watched Les Mis for the first time. Again, I like musicals. That's a super long one. And what I knew him initially from is the X-Men. Like, he's going to be the Wolverine forever. Like, now I know he's done portraying him, but like, when you think of the Wolverine, the actor who plays him, it's going to be Hugh Jackman.
Right.
He just did a phenomenal job.
Absolutely.
And so that's what I was used to with him and what he could do. And then I saw him in Les Mis, and I was like, holy buckets, he can sing. Like, what?
Like he can really sing.
What can't this guy do?
Yeah, exactly. So okay, let's talk about how well this thing took off. Budget of $84 million. Box office of what do you have?
I have 434.9.
I have the same.
Yeah, it was a slow burner. What I was looking at looking at some of the facts on how it did in the box office.
They kept it in there.
It did.
Yeah.
It was one of those where we talked about Sing, where all the songs were super popular, so it was known. But this one, it was kind of like it released. The music then was released. People then really liked the music, and then they went to watch.
Right.
So it was kind of a not fun, but very interesting, very almost reverse of how typically movies like this go.
Yeah, very much so. And one of the things that I put down is that look, Hugh Jackman's great, but Pink Million Dreams and her version of it is way better.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So I was used to that,
right?
Like her version.
Yeah,
I've heard a million times, no pun intended.
Pun intended.
Yeah, it was. And so, right, like it was like, and that came on, and I'm just a Hugh Jackman fan for sure.
Yeah.
But it came on, and I'm like, eh.
Well, I mean, that's the hard part with some of this stuff is that he's a phenomenal actor and singer, but like, I think he's an actor first.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be singers who are just have been in the business longer, been doing songs longer to know renditions and how to sing it better too. So
right.
So
and then my favorite line, you're not. I don't know if I have this verbatim, but you're not reaching the top shelf yourself, sweetheart. Said to the Queen. You remember that?
Yeah.
I thought I died.
And
that
then
was perfect.
It was perfect too because he said that. Awkward pause.
Yeah.
And then she like giggled, like almost like it reminded me of something of like the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland.
Totally.
Of, like it was like, I don't know if this is how she would actually laugh because it seemed obnoxious, but it was super funny.
Yeah. It was brilliant, I thought. It was so I wasn't. Let me say it like this: I don't know how accurate this is.
Oh, it's not accurate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, and I didn't want to look it up yet. I wanted to talk about it here, and because I didn't want to be jaded when I kind of did my scores and everything, how I rated it, and so I was like, I'm gonna wait till afterwards. I'm gonna look at more of the history of it, here in the coming weeks probably.
Right.
And I'm like, it can't. I wouldn't expect it to be super accurate. No. But you did look into it? Yeah.
Well, I love this movie. So I've watched it. I've probably watched this movie a dozen times now and listened to the music, like the soundtrack so much. So, but what I'm saying is like, I like the movie, but I've also like kind of heard when the movie was released, kind of the backlash that can happen with some movies like this that are based off of true stories, but it's really loose and painting people in a positive picture that maybe shouldn't be, and like what message are we sending? And so I mean, from my understanding, P.T. and Barnum was not a nice guy.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. Yeah. I mean, I thought he was a pretty shrewd, like, businessman.
Right. Yes.
And, yeah, it was.
So that's my understanding of him as well. So
right, and there's a little bit of that, but not right.
Yeah, they definitely did not. They focused way more on the positives of what happened as a result of it, rather than the actions that actually took place to lead to that.
Right. And the way they portrayed, like, the song "This Is Me."
This is me. Yeah.
I thought that's great. I mean, that's really true. I mean,
right.
I love that.
And that song made sense to exactly where it was placed.
Right. And so but in reality, I don't think that was the case, and that's kind of my point.
Right.
Like, I don't think that he didn't bring. He wanted to make money.
Yep.
He had this idea. He brought, what did he call them? The sideshow freaks or whatever in the film.
Yeah.
He put that together to make money.
Yeah.
That was it.
Well, and I mean, I think the movie glosses over that, this whole film.
Yeah.
Is that if you look at the core and the actions that were being taken, that's all he cared about.
Yeah.
Like, even when it comes to his family's well-being, it was more focused on, again, earthly goods or whatever, possess material goods.
Right, because he restored that house that
Yep.
when they were kids
Yep.
was abandoned.
Exactly.
And restored it. Obviously, that took.
And it was a surprise. Like, again, I don't know the historical accuracy of that.
Yeah.
But they made
Probably
it.
didn't exist.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
I mean,
yeah.
Who knows?
And I mean, some of the relationships too of, if you're going to accuracy, P.T. Barnum and Jenny Lind, real people, that relation, like, that affair never happened. And then also,
but then the question would be, was there really an affair? I mean, it didn't.
Well, right.
There really wasn't.
No.
I mean, even in the film.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but
Right. But yeah.
Whether it's that borderline thing of like lusting versus like, there was definitely,
which is then you'd have to talk about a moral compass.
Yeah.
And how
it's the good old gray area.
Yeah. Yeah. So many people have so many differing opinions on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can, I mean, again, that's the whole thing with morality, is you can have those conversations, and there are gray areas of people are just going to naturally have different beliefs of how things should be handled.
Right.
But Carlisle and Anne's relationship too, that didn't happen.
Okay. It didn't at all.
Did not.
Yeah.
So, again.
That's interesting. Good to know.
Yeah.
Made good for the film, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Made good, yeah. Good
Zac
story.
Efron said that was his favorite on-screen kiss was with Zendaya.
Okay.
Which I thought was just interesting.
Yeah.
Again, it's fun when
Yeah.
you see quotes like that.
Yeah. And I just had a thought too. When we first started talking about doing this together, I had said, I don't want to be like super critical.
Yeah.
I just want to have it as more of the conversation,
right?
Like what the thoughts are. But the critic in this film, I was just thinking about that too. That character is exactly why I don't want to be like specifically a critic of anything. Yeah. It's like, because that's, for me, that's not a judgment we should be making, because that's art.
Yeah.
You go
it's
to
subjective.
Right, exactly. Go to a restaurant, that's also art. Chefs are artists.
That's right.
With taste.
You can have the best sushi in the world. I will not like it.
Exactly. So
you can have the best horror film in the world. I will not like it.
Right. So they can make and break that scenario for people.
Absolutely.
Right. And so that I struggle with. But
I thought Barnum's, again, actually or not, but his quote, or the thing he said to him, you can't, you're a critic of theater who cannot appreciate theater, or something. It was something along the lines of that, which I thought was very interesting, because how easy. Again, when you look at the name critic, for me, that word automatically is negative judgment. When I critique something, like, you're saying these things are wrong.
That's that would seem to be the intent.
Right.
Is that it's wrong.
Rather than maybe something like observer. Like, where you're just taking it in, you're observing it as a whole, and then you can make your observations off of that, the positives and the negatives.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know mentally, like, I feel like that's just, for me, I would rather be, if I would call what we're doing, we're observing films.
Yeah.
And so I think I like that terminology better than we're critiquing films. Right. It just already has this negative connotation with it.
Right. Totally. So, anything else? I'm curious at what you had for scores on, especially a couple things like the music in the score and entertainment and stuff. Yeah.
The only other notes I have is Zendaya did all of her own stunts.
Oh, okay.
With the trapeze stuff, which I thought was pretty fascinating. Yeah. Probably set up well for Spider-Man.
Yeah, she's all over the place right now,
Dune,
too, isn't she?
Just kidding. She really just was into flashbacks or whatever scenes.
Yeah.
She really didn't have action. But Spider-Man, all set for that.
Yep.
And I think this is accurate. I should have double-checked my facts on these a little bit better, but I think the set actually burned down during the fire scene.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which I thought was, it's ironic, like, it's sad, but like, it's one of those things that, like, well, this seems really ironic.
Very. I had no idea.
Yeah. So those were the fun facts.
Facts.
The Greatest Showman.
They were facts anyway.
Well,
I'm just teasing.
I'm gonna set your house on fire.
Oh, you heard it here first, people.
That's right.
Personally, I thought that it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I couldn't be much better.
Yeah.
They helped me feel what they were feeling.
Yeah.
Because the way they interacted with each other, even though it's obviously acting, but it was like they were involved together with it rather than just like it felt natural.
Yeah.
You know,
I thought too, like the performers. So you have like Anne and oh my gosh, how did I not get her? The bearded lady. I somehow did not put her down. But like you have all of them working together, and they seemed like a very cohesive unit after they got put together.
Yeah.
And then you can now start to see the split between P.T. Barnum as he rise. It all worked together well, where they started together, but then as, you know, the wealth and the fame kind of split them, which I think does happen more often than it should, but it's easy to let.
Oh, yeah. Super easy. So 4.8?
Yeah. I gave it, 4.7. I really enjoyed it. I really liked Carlisle's and Anne's relationship. Again, for a purely entertainment, I know it's not real, but the chemistry was there. It made you appreciate it. Again, I think we'll get to this with overall entertainment too. P.T. Barnum's actions were not great.
Yeah.
His reasoning and understanding of why he was doing was not out of a pure heart. But I think his actions of the way he persuaded people, again, I don't think it's right that he persuaded people for his own personal gain, but I like that he pointed out, here's what you see, here's what I see, and here's what you could be.
Sure.
I think there is incredible value in that doesn't happen in today's society.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was expecting that would be something that would be lacking. Yeah. And I thought that they did a good job with it, because it'd be pretty easy to be complacent, I guess, with it. Rather than like they did, you know, the street scenes. They did a good job capturing that, even though, again, it was fake.
Yeah, the debate scene was fun to watch, too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so they did a good job, I thought, with a 4.7 is where I landed on it. And again, not being critical of it, but there were things that I think they could have captured. The fire wasn't captured real well.
No.
There was one other scene too. I thought like, that doesn't make any sense, but I can't remember what that is right now. But the fire scene was a big one for me.
Yeah.
Like this is like, no, I mean,
it didn't seem like it was burning down. It seemed like there was a kitchen fire and we're going in, and it could have easily been taken care of.
Yeah. Yep.
This is making me laugh because you started off with, Tyler, I don't know if you're going to be happy with my scores. This is the first time you've seen this. So,
which was off camera, by the way.
It was off
to
camera.
Get you riled up.
It was. And I got riled. I'll be honest. And so I was like, I really enjoy this movie. And so I was really excited to hear what you thought about it because we have been doing a few musicals. Some better
I went into
than
this.
others.
I gotta stop you. I went in this with a bad attitude.
Oh, did you?
And I came out with a good attitude.
That is amazing.
I've seen it. I watched it 1.5 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Look at you go. That's amazing.
Yeah. I did really enjoy it. Maybe country music is next. I don't know. The world is coming to an end. I swear it. But
I really like the cinematography as well. I thought the transition from P.T. Barnum and Charity dancing on going back to the rooftop, where they were dancing between the curtains, and then it did the slow rotation to her being pregnant.
Yeah,
I thought that was a really cool transition.
That
was well done. I liked the the score. This whole music ties into the score. If the score sucked, this movie would have sucked. So again, cinematography ties into it, where they're like beating their drinks or their shot glasses, and it just blended together well. The scene made sense for the negotiation, the music, the lighting, and everything worked together. Shots of Grant. I don't think they had a lot of space, and like in the building to do the circus thing.
Yeah.
And so I think they did a good job.
Like in real life back in... Yeah,
exactly.
no, right. Yeah, I remember that history too.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I like that, how easy it would have been to make the space look bigger.
Right.
Even though they didn't have that space. So I think I also enjoyed that it looked like they had a small amount of space that they had to work with to do these shows.
So... with the burning down of the building, did that really happen? And that's why he came to the tent conclusion?
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting. Okay. I thought that was fake news.
No.
Okay.
I think that's true. I could be wrong.
I don't know.
Tell us what you guys think. I mean, I didn't do a ton of studying from when it came to the history of this. I just know there are definitely inaccuracies to how it actually was. How it actually was in real life.
Yeah. Overall entertainment value. I went into this, like I said a little bit ago, complete bad attitude.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying, like, I don't mean that as a disrespect to you or the film, but I was like, it's
another musical.
Let me even back up further than that, though. I like Hugh Jackman.
Yep.
I heard that this was a good film.
Yep.
And so, probably 3 years ago, I bought it.
Right.
So I own it.
Yeah.
And I had never seen it.
Sat on the shelf.
It did. And until this. And so my bearing to figure out if I really like a movie and if it was entertaining, will I watch it again? Well, I did
right.
already,
That's
part
right.
of it. And it's like, that's really great. So very entertained by it.
Yeah.
So the overall entertainment was 4.8.
Yeah. I think something that is interesting is that is a great story that people, I think people can resonate with. I mean, I don't think we often think of ourselves as circus freaks.
Right.
But I think
I do, but
there's this reality when you look in the mirror and you see monkeys on you, like you're just a part of the circus.
That's right.
And so I think this film, if nothing else, is a film that shows that diversity working together can create positive results.
Yeah.
And understanding what somebody's skilled in, you may not be skilled in. And because of that, you can work together and create something that you couldn't have alone.
Right.
And so you look at, again, I don't agree with the heart that P.T. Barnum had going into it.
Yeah.
He was all about the money. I'm saying this, but I'm only saying this to manipulate you so that I can be famous.
Right.
I think for me, what I enjoy in life is being able to see what people are skilled in and being able to work with them and figure out together how we can collaborate to make something better.
Yeah.
And so I think, if nothing else, when you're watching this film, understand what actually was done. Was it done initially with good intentions? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But in the end result, did it work because, again, the circus worked, like the performers worked together?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and that's a very valid point. It is something that I hope people that have seen this or will see this, like, they get that.
Yeah.
And I think they've set it up well enough so they will.
Right.
But that's super important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was so cool at the end of, like, the place burned down. They have no money because Jenny ended her tour. It looked like there was no hope. But again, like, each person pushed themselves because they were so proud of what they had done.
Yeah.
That we were like, no, we're not going to give up.
Right.
We're going to work through it. And they did. It was amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway.
They grew up so quick.
Sing us out of here.
Oh my gosh, you did this last time.
I
You know
know.
what song gets stuck in my head every time you do that?
Because you like to sing.
Sing us a song. Well, we're just
The
going to end all
Piano
at the same
Man.
time. Ooh,
See? I told you, maybe.
very nice.
That's it. That's all you get. That's all you get. Until next time. Hammer the share button. Go ahead and hammer out a comment to us. Go ahead and hammer the like button. Go ahead and hammer the subscription button. Go ahead and hammer the notification bells, because you know what? That's the best way you can support us. We appreciate it.
Life's too short to be uncomfortable, so make others uncomfortable and wear something from www.shinybrandproducts.com.